is cool, isn't it?
Have you ever had anyone doubt you doing this?
Keep against my stress.
That's just my domain.
Hopefully making me look good.
He's no miracle worker.
Most of my life I've had people doubt me. First time I saw the barge, I was actually sent the barge to me from a couple of friends, funny enough, which was quite strange. But then we went for a dog walk and we sort of came across the river and we saw it and we sort of went over and took a look at it. So it was, I just thought, you know, the coincidence was enough to get me to look further.
One there.
Yeah, that one, we actually put a plate on you outside. But for some reason, it decided it was going to leave there anyway.
The barge has got a massive history, you know, it's nearly 100 years old. You know, it was a dredger in Bristol, then it was brought to Lowestoft as a refuelling tanker, you know. I mean, there's a model of her in the museum, but she's, you know, accumulated some fame along the way. I mean, she was commandeered in World War II. She used to refuel Richard Branson's Atlantic Challenger 2 that was built in Lowestoft. And we've, you know, been very lucky. We've been on the news and things like that. And Richard Branson caught wind of that, and we actually received a plaque from him, you know, congratulating us on our work. And it was good to see that the barge wasn't going to the scrapyard. And he sort of, you know, thanked us for doing some good in the community. Who knows, you know, he might turn up one day and come and have a beer with us. And that is perfect, that is. Love that. Just need to find someone for the bloody bin now. Probably should be out of the way, you know. Oh, let's walk around with it. It's important to the people who work on the barge, and, you know, and in the community. I mean, for me, the passion was to restore a project, you know, something with historic value. I wanted to set up a talk group where I could get people down here and enjoy the build together and build, you know, companionships and relationships. But, you know, my upbringing was, you know, I had a lot of mental health. I had a very troubled upbringing, and I think I needed something at the time in my life where I was going through maybe a bit of a, you know, a bit of a, I wouldn't say a crisis, but certainly it's, you know, it was a time where there wasn't a great deal in my life happening. And I wanted to do something that was big and exciting. So I thought the barge would be a bit of a project. It's turned out to be a massive project, but not one that I regret.
Get the plasma cutter to go down and take that section out.
Yeah.
good the concrete is.
But if we cut,
I think it's pretty solid.
yeah, if we cut this side of the frame, yeah,
Yeah.
then we could, this whole lot can slide back without disturbing that.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I can see why, when we put the centre oil in here for the galley, this pushes this out this way another 100 mil, doesn't it? If we cut this side,
Yeah.
that'll come up, got to be 100 now. Yeah,
Was it
it's
just?
supposed to be this.
I'm just wondering whether that distance from there to there is the same as that distance from there to there.
Yeah. Trouble is I can't scale it off,
So I
so.
say that's not scaled.
So that measurement is to there. So the measurement we've got in there, we've got to add that to it.
But I think
Because at the moment, the way we've marked it, we've got that line marked. It ain't going to work, you know.
I think the only way you're going to get around that is to actually cut it, physically look, offer it up, and then cut to shape.
There, we've got to disturb a load of concrete and that. If we cut on the front end, we can slide the lot forward without disturbing anything. And of course, like we were both saying, we don't know what's under that concrete.
It's got to be a
If we go
reasonable
knocking that out, we
concrete.
may go through the bloody ship's side, like, you don't know.
So yeah, we've had a great deal of complications through this process. From getting it down the river, we had to work with the Broads Authority and the councils and to get it just here where we are now. It took about 8 months in total. With the barge had to be surveyed. We had to get the right insurances to take it down the river. So there was a great deal of work just to get it here. Then when we got it out of the water, we had a survey, and whilst it meant that we didn't have to scrap the barge, it did mean that we, in total, I think in steel, we probably spent about £20,000 worth of steel in total. And that doesn't include the work. So, and then I think along the way, it's just general, general things that, with any kind of build, certainly with something that you're working with that's 100 years old, I think there's always going to be complications. So I don't think we're there yet, but yeah, we've certainly faced our fair share of of problems. So other projects related to the barge, we have a sister project which is at the old hospital. The idea of our sister project is we hope to have mental health workshops there. We're looking to run a course called Project Lighthouse, and the idea of Project Lighthouse is to offer people in the community struggling a 12-week program that kind of works on their mental health, but obviously with the mission of sort of being able to get back into work. And we hope to be live in the next year. So hopefully once the barge is up and running, that will eventually run Anchor Point House. The funds will eventually run those courses. We also, to keep going, we struggle to get any kind of funding at the moment. Times are tough. So we currently run a man and van service. It's more of a building company now because we've got the skilled people who work at the barge. So we go out and do lots of projects in the community, but making sure that they're affordable for the people in the community that also struggle. And then we have a little events company, and we put staging on, and all the profits from the events company and from the building company are what we're using for the barge. But sadly, it's just not enough to cover the works that we've got left to do. We've got about 30 volunteers, I think, in total, and I never expected these people to get on board. I mean, when I first started, I thought we might have 4 or 5 people, and to be fair, when we first started, there was our starting 6, as it was, and so that's where we started. And as we sort of progressed and people started to hear more about the story, more and more people got involved. I mean, we've got some fantastic people. We've got Des, who runs the engineering side, he's just been amazing, and what he doesn't know about engineering, you know, it's just phenomenal. You know, we've got Ray, who's been here from the start, and he sort of covers all the woodworks and things like that. We've got you know, Roy and Roger, and they're fantastic lads. You know, they've all been around boats and in the, you know, had careers you know, within the either the sea or the river. So Andy, he's been phenomenal on the project. You know, he's been here for over two years, and he come down actually with his at the time 15-year-old son AJ, and they come down and just did a little bit of welding to get them out of the house. I think it was his missus that made him come down and get rid of him for a little while. It's nice to bring lots of people together who wouldn't ordinarily probably meet each other. And I think what's nice is there's a lot of friendships outside of the barge now, which is giving people, you know, new friendships, and it gives people a reason to get up and get out of their homes, you know, whether they're struggling with mental health, whether it's loneliness, boredom. I think this project gives a lot of people a lot of enjoyment because we all come together and you know, we're all doing something good, which eventually will benefit the community.
Just you wait, listen for the storm. Hear the difference in the wind. When dark clouds form and start to turn, I'll run again.
The end goal is obviously to turn this vessel into a tea room and bar restaurant. You know, we hope to do tapas, craft beer, some nice wines. We hope to have music sort of playing at the weekends. You know, we're going to have a grand piano in here eventually, baby grand piano, which we got donated. And the idea will just have some light music, but also some sort of comedy nights and you know, quiz nights, things like that. So make it a real place where people can really come, let their hair down, enjoy themselves. But then obviously with the profits go into our sister company, so the money that we raise obviously going back, you know, a lot of the profits going back into the community to help the community.
Reckon I might just about make the end of the project.
To get to that end goal, you know, we're a million miles away financially. You know, we've got the people, we've got the plans, you know, we've got everything we need to go. We just need to find the money, you know, and I think that's where we're really focusing our efforts now. You know, we're looking for companies to sponsor us where they can write off against tax and things, you know, so we're looking for companies who want to really put their name to what we're doing. You know, there's lots of return for them, you know, tags and real involvement in helping the community. But we are also looking for an investor, so we are considering selling off 20% of our, you know, of our barge to, you know, a private investor, you know, for £100,000, you know, and whilst that, you know, that it might seem like we're a long way from being finished, but you know, we had the investment, we could get finished a lot quicker.
When the dark clouds form and start to turn, I'll run again. Far away when the hurricane comes in. When the dark clouds form and start to turn,